So this is the Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop. It comes with the latest Intel i7 11th Gen, the newly launched Nvidia 3050 Ti and a 144Hz IPS LCD display. If you're coming from a smartphone, this is premium mid-range specs, you can say. Now, in case you guys aren't paying attention, Intel recently launched the 11th generation Edge series called H45 for i7 and i9, which are built on 10 nanometer and are 8 core 16 thread CPUs. Whoa. But there's much detail to that. This is Prateek, you're already watching TechVisor, and after watching this video, you'll have a clear idea of the Nvidia 3050 Ti and Intel Edge series CPUs gaming performance. And before we get into this video, a quick shout out to Intel for making this video possible. But again, you know it, I know it, the opinions are mine. Let's go. First off, let's quickly get the box out of the way. You get the laptop under this sleeve. Whoa, it's heavy. With a charging brick, which again looks like 100 plus watt, a few paperworks and these Planet 9 stickers. So if you are a fan of putting stickers everywhere, why? But yeah, GG. Moving on to the laptop itself. The Acer Nitro 5 is a thick boy. It weighs around 2.6 kgs and there's a good reason for it. I'm excited about that part. We'll get to that in a moment. First of all, the ports. I am delighted. No dongle life from now on. You get two USB 3.1 ports, gigabit Ethernet port with a headphone jack on the left. On the right, you get one more USB 3.1 port, HDMI 2.0 and a USB-C Thunderbolt port. Oh my god, I feel so nice. 3 USB ports in a laptop in a long time, baby. There's no SD card slot here, which is a rare commodity these days in laptops. Now, I really like that the charging port is on the back of the laptop. So while you're gaming, it doesn't come in between your external mouse or other accessories that are plugged in. And here's the fun part. When you open up the laptop, boy, you can do it with one hand, and this hinge is so good. I just like opening and closing the lid. Whoop. Woo. Okay, I'll stop. And you see this RGB keyboard? The keyboard consists of 4 configurable RGB zones, and you can configure the color within the Acer Nitro app. And if you feel fancy, it also has dynamic patterns. Now, a minor complaint would be a flex on the keyboard. Like you see here at the center, it's minor, but it's there. On the top, you get a 15.6-inch IPS LCD display with a 144Hz refresh rate, and it can go bright up to 300 nits peak brightness. Now, that number might sound less, but it's a big display, and Acer provides anti-glare coating. So, in my limited amount of testing indoors in office light or a huge studio light flashing right behind me, you don't see reflections. So, the display is adequate for indoor use or office use. Now, the heart of the laptop is performance. It comes with a 16GB DDR4 3200 MHz single RAM stick, which can be expanded to 32GB. And another thing, the laptop comes with a M.2 as well as a hard drive slot, so you can upgrade the SSD and hard drive depending on the version you end up buying. For CPU, we are dealing with a 8 core 16 thread i7 11800H. Now pay attention. Intel has launched 4 CPUs codenamed as H45 CPUs. Right here is the i7 11800H. This is the H series. The H series of Intel CPUs don't support overclocking. So if you want to overclock, you should get the HK variant. As far as I remember, only the Intel i9 in the 11th generation has an HK variant for laptops. Now, some really interesting things about the Intel H45 variant CPUs. Number one, the H variant supports 2 eDP ports. Now, it simply means that a laptop with an H variant can natively run 2 displays. Second, you now get 20 PCI Gen 4 lanes for both dedicated GPU, which we'll talk about in a moment, and storage. So in simple words, listen carefully. You can consider PCI lanes to be small roads that come out of your CPU. These roads are used to send data from other parts of the motherboard like GPU, RAM and storage. So now PCI Gen 4 can be considered twice the width of older PCI Gen 3. So a wider roads means more data transfer at a time. It's 64 Gbps compared to 32 Gbps. Yeah, the bigger B. Moreover, the Intel H45 CPUs have 8 DMI lanes. Now in basic terms, let me show you. Now I have a 4 TB hard drive connected to my laptop. I'll transfer a 4 GB video file to my internal hard drive. And as you can see, the transfer speed is around 65 Mbps. Now let me attach one more SSD to another USB port, and I can do that because, hey, more ports. Now when I transfer the files from both the external hard drive and SSD at once, you can see the hard drive transfer speed is still around 65 Mbps. That is possible because of the 8 DMI lanes. So no matter how many hard drives, Ethernet jack, external monitors you attach to all the ports, they'll perform at their maximum. Now here I would say the weight of the laptop really justifies the awesome thermals it has. As you can see, it has 2 fans with 4 outlets. 2 outlets are behind the laptop and 1 each at the side. Now at max RPM, you can see the Crossmark and Geekbench single core and multi-core scores. Interesting. Also, I did a 30-minute CPU stress test with the Intel XTU app, and the temperatures were way in around 65 degrees with max TDP around 37 watt. That's cool, like literally cool. Now the Acer Nitro 5 is also equipped with a Nvidia RTX 3050 Ti. Now if you aren't aware of the Nvidia GPU lineup, the RTX 3050 Ti is an upgrade to the GTX 1650 Ti. It's RTX and not GTX, so it supports ray tracing and DLSS in games. And I tested that out. With CPU heavy games like CSGO, it can pull in around 200 FPS at high graphics easily thanks to the H45 Intel CPUs. With more CPU GPU bound game GTA 5, Full HD high graphics settings, you can get around 69 FPS. If you lower the shadows a bit, you can even reach 100 FPS. And with ray tracing and DLSS games like Control, DLSS gives you better FPS than normal, and plus ray tracing makes the whole experience of the game better. Like as you can see, I can see the reflections in the mirror with ray tracing on. And Nvidia GPUs also have a couple of cool Nvidia apps I personally like. First up is the Nvidia Broadcast. Let me show you a live demo. So now we have the fan on, AC on, the exhaust on. We also have some traffic noises. Kaushal, can you make some more noise? So this is before turning on Nvidia Broadcast, and I am speaking directly through the laptop's internal microphone. And now I'm going to turn on Nvidia Broadcast, and hopefully the audio should get better. It's trying to learn the voices around me, and I hope now you can hear me clearly. A quick brown fox jumped on the lazy dog, and I'm not the lazy dog. Okay, thank you, Kaushal. That was nice. Now to power up this entire thing, you get a 57.5 watt-hour battery, and Acer claims 8 hours of battery life. But in reality, if you're pushing the device for gaming, expect a 2 to 3 hours of battery life. And while using it for browsing, movies or gaming, the battery life improves to 5 to 6 hours. But for a gaming laptop, I guess it's an average battery life, quite expected. The power brick is a huge 180 watt adapter, and it can really drive this laptop well. By the way, this portion was through the laptop's webcam. So let me know how is the video and the audio quality through the webcam. Moreover, Intel H45 CPUs now come with Wi-Fi 6E, which is just Wi-Fi 6 enhanced. The name says it, 6E. Now in India, the Indian government hasn't opened up the 6 GHz spectrum for Wi-Fi 6, so you wouldn't get the full potential of Wi-Fi 6E. But in normal 5 GHz network, here, see a side-by-side comparison with a Wi-Fi 6 laptop on the same Wi-Fi network. Speed on the Acer Nitro 5 with the Intel Wi-Fi 6E modem is really good. And we got the same speed every single time. The Wi-Fi 6E turns out better speeds on the same Wi-Fi router. So to summarize, the Acer Nitro 5 starts at around 90,000 rupees for 8GB 256GB SSD and 1TB hard drive, but with the Nvidia 3050. And if you have the budget of around that price, it's a good gaming laptop to consider, especially for the 8-core 16-thread Intel i7-11800H. There's also a 1650 Ti variant with the same CPU at around 84,000. You can also consider that if you don't intend on playing ray tracing gamings or need huge machine learning performance. And on that note, which laptop would you want to see next? Let me know. This is Prateek. Like the video. See you soon.